Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned in to another live edition of the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. I almost said TLDR, but Thee is not a letter, and I know this because I've been reviewing the updated alphabet books that we've been reading to our daughter Jedi, and that is not a letter, or a word. Well, the is a word. This is usually about an hour long, and I geek out with my patrons. You can become a patron by heading over to chrispirillo.com and get a full, unadulterated Chris Pirillo. Just me, for about an hour. The first part, I'm usually diving deep into a topic. Then, I go on to the day's Pirillo Picks, a daily show and tell. After that, I answer questions from the community of patrons, and then after that, I talk about today's tech news, or the tech news that has been unleashed over the past 72 to 24-hour period-ish, give or take. Today, I want to talk to you about something that was really on my mind as just a passing thought. People will very often ask, more often than not, Chris, what technologies are you looking forward to most? And I'm not sure if I've got an answer to that question, if only because I guess I'm satisfied enough with where things are today. I remember the way things used to be. Like, we're talking before the internet existed, right? I mean, I know you know I'm that old. But I started thinking about three leading technologies or technologies of tomorrow that people are excited about, and quite honestly, I'm not. I'm just not. One of those things is 360-degree video. Now, it's interesting. It's nifty. I'll give it that. But it's also kind of within the realm of gimmicky. And I'm not taking away from 360-degree video that deserves to be 360-degree video. Like, I mean, there are some amazing possibilities with 360-degree video, but it's not something that, you know, I see as capturing my attention and you know, changing my whole world, because it won't. I remember some of the first 360-degree video I ever watched was when I was substantially younger than I am now, in a theater that was built for 360-degree video. I've seen movies, and it was neat, because you'd see, like, landscapes, and it must have been a plane or something flying through, because you could look forward or look to the side or that side or behind you. It was pretty neat. It was neat. Not something that I would ever really, you know, want for myself as such. I can't imagine, for my own needs, my own wants, needing that. I put it within the realm of 3D movies. Now, I know there's a difference between 3D movies and 360-degree movies, obviously. But, The second thing I'm a piece of tech or technology that I'm really not as excited as everybody else is, keep in mind, maybe it's that I just haven't seen one thing that would pull me in. I mean, it's interesting. This is all fascinating. It is absolutely fascinating. Don't get me wrong. VR, which up until this point has been short for vomit. Really. I get motion sickness. Some people take a pill. This is what their suggestion is. Take a pill. Imagine you had to take a pill every time you used your smartphone. No, you could use the internet, but first you have to take a pill. Do you want to take this pill or that pill? Yeah, that to me is that's not a good thing. You know, if someone's trying to tell you that in order to use the technology you have to take a pill first, that's no, that's generally it's a great idea, but I'm still waiting for a good implementation. We're talking about VR, and like I said, I reserve the right to change my mind at any point in the future. But so far, VR has not been anything beyond, okay, it's kind of neat for a couple of minutes, and then I'm done. Now I gotta wait for the apps or the games. Now remember, I'm not that much of a gamer, as much as many of you are, because you can think of, think about games in 360. Okay, they kind of are in 360 because there's only one way you could look at any given time, and then if you want to turn around, you can look that way. It is 360-ish. To be immersed in it, maybe even more immersed, that, you know, again, that might be useful, but if you get motion sickness easily, which I did from that that very cheap $30 thingy that did VR. I got motion sick. I could, for the rest of the day, I was like, oh no, I don't want that. No one wakes up and says, I want to be sick today. No one says that. Nobody. So that's VR. Vomit, really. Again, I reserve the right to change my mind on anything. That's the way technology works. It advances, it gets better in many ways. Some ways it gets better. So this is what I feel like today. These are things that I'm just not as excited for. The third thing that I'm really not excited for in the realm of tech is the Internet of Things. It scares the living bejesus out of me. And I do have a living bejesus in me. It's down by the appendix. He sits there. It's my little, he's my bejesus. And it's scared every time someone brings up a topic related to the Internet of Things. For a lot of different reasons. And let me go ahead and pull this over now. It's a good time. The presentation that you're going to see during every TLDR broadcast. It's sitting on top of today's Pirillo picks, by the way, which I am excited about. So, the Internet of Things. These tend to be great ideas, but very questionably implemented. Like, these look nice. They look cool. For people who want an internet-connected refrigerator. But inevitably, what have I said? It's not the idea, it's the execution. I'm not the only person who's ever said that. And with the Internet of Things, you have all of these companies rushing forward into a space that they don't quite understand because security is the last thing on their minds. I mean, let me ask you this. Would you ever get on the internet without protecting yourself? Would you? I mean, you might. Hey, more power to you. Most people, and I mean 99% of the people who have any degree of understanding of what can happen when you connect to a global network if you don't protect yourself. Internet of Things devices from any manufacturer do not have this in mind as number one, including quote-unquote security products. So the Internet of Things scares the bejesus out of me. Every day in the news, I see something else. There was a hospital. I talked about this in TLDR last week. A hospital has now been held with ransomware because they had their data and the hospital paid Bitcoin. They were asking for Bitcoin to get the data released. And this is just with typical computers. Remember, this is a computer. This thing right here. A light bulb connected to the internet through a hub. Computer. If it has hardware and software, it's a computer. It may not look like a traditional computer, but it is. And these Internet of Things devices are so poorly thought out. They're pricey to begin with, and some of them are cheap. I'd be very frightened about that. Sometimes you get what you pay for. But security is usually not usually the last thing, if it's a thing at all. I mean, think about phones that never get updated with security updates. Phones, like bleeding edge phones, they don't get the latest that they need to get in order to keep you protected. You are taking your digital life and putting it in your hands, and you're putting it on your network. Well, not me. Not until I see something to make me feel a bit more confident about the technology that I'm bringing into my life. More than anything, every time I turn around, I see tech used as a weapon against somebody else. Whether it's a nasty comment in a video or a thumbs down in a video, that to me is an attack. Or even down to, there was a business in Oregon, I just caught this on the news as well, that was also held by ransomware. And they do video editing for a living, and apparently one of the computers got infected, and then their whole network, their whole data was encrypted, and they couldn't get the decryption key unless they paid a bounty. And forget about turning to official channels, because they're stymied. We can't keep up, with we as a society, as a human race, can't keep up with technology. It's advancing more rapidly than we are advancing. Like, as the people who are mature enough to be able to handle the technology. And I don't see it. I don't see that changing anytime soon, because unfortunately people rush into these new frontiers, and admittedly, a new piece of tech that's transformative is exciting. I'm not really seeing anything revolutionary coming out of Mobile World Congress that has me going, well, it's a phone update, okay. These are things that just don't thrill me as much as they might thrill other people. And I'm not going to apologize for that because, I've had my experiences and you've had yours. I mean, I'm not sitting here and saying, hey, these should be your experiences either. Of course, some people believe that. Then again, that speaks to my whole point about maturity. Some people who aren't mature enough to be able to handle a keyboard are able to comment and interact with the rest of us. What are you going to do? Uneducated tend to do very uneducated things. But don't blame me when you see something come out in the news talking about the things that I talked about 2 years ago. Don't. I don't want to hear it because I've talked about it. Okay, tomorrow I think I'm going to talk about 3 technologies that do kind of excite me. Believe it or not, there are some. I'll have to think very hard about this. I'm going to move on to Pirillo picks now. You can tune into that, as well as the rest of TLDR, by heading over to chrispirillo.com. Today's free podcast highlight was brought to you by all of my active patrons from chrispirillo.com. If you want access to the full TLDR episodes, both audio, video, past, present, and future, which can be up to an hour long or longer, with even more tech insight from me every weekday, plus other bonus content without ads, and support me at the same time, you can sign up to become one of my supernomies too. This is just a brief taste of what I'm producing for you daily. Again, get more through chrispirillo.com.